There was a time in my addiction where I was willing to accept the carnage of everything. I'm not willing to accept that anymore. Hi, my name is June, and this is my story. I feel like my life started in addiction. At 12 years old, I remember taking some acid and just being encased in that trip of acid for like a good 24 hours. After that, I was just dabbled with whatever was around, with my friends, and went through my whole high school years just being very lost, empty, disconnected. I never shared anything that I went through as a child with my family. So as I became a young adult, I took all of that stuff with me. After I had 2 children and was divorced, I found the drug that made me feel like I always wanted to feel: confident, powerful. Methamphetamine was introduced to my life. And so that was the drug that took me on my road of deep, dark destruction. I lost custody of my 2 children that I had previously, both from 2 different men. And so my daughter's father took me to court, proved me unfit, and that wasn't enough for me to quit using drugs. In that time period, I was pregnant twice and chose to abort both of those babies. And shortly after that, I met my husband now. We were both a mess, both in addiction. And we got married, had another baby, our last child, and was soon incarcerated for methamphetamine. When I got caught, I was like so grateful. I remember sitting in the back of the police car and just being so thankful that I felt like, oh gosh, thank goodness it's over, I wish that were the case, but it was not. The day they said, you can go home now, and I was like, I'm not ready to go home. It's not safe for me to go home yet. And so I was able to go to a treatment center. I was there for a little brief stint, and then I got to go home. And my husband had gotten a place for us to live. It was probably a couple of months after that I was right back where I started and in my addiction. And I didn't know what I had done to just the betrayal that I had done to my children for returning to my drug abuse. And the consequences were so great of my choices. It was hard to refuse to use again when it was around us. So we did decide to move away and take our children and draw ourselves away from that situation. I had been praying through this whole time, God, lead me somewhere that I can be real with what I've been through, what I've put my children through, somewhere I can get help. So when my daughter told me, hey, somebody invited me to church, and I was like, well, let's go. And we went to church, and I met some of the ladies, and they invited me to a Bible study, and things just started unfolding. My desires were being met. When you've lived your whole life feeling like a distraction, I guess, or not good enough for anything that's valuable, you just long for that. You long to be valuable to somebody. And so Jesus was that for me. And I felt that as I grew to know who Jesus really was, and the completeness that I felt in that relationship, it was like something I'd never had before. And it gave me great joy to know that I could share that with my children, that, I could be rescued from a place of total emptiness, We began on a road of just being renewed. I needed accountability. I needed love, and I needed, community. People loving me exactly where I was. That's what I needed. And that's what I received when I walked into the doors of a place that people loved Jesus. I got to work through things that were ugly, and people loved me through that. I felt my mind being renewed, thinking on things differently, thinking on things that were good and pure and righteous, led me to a different season of life. It really did. I've lived a very selfish life in addiction, and to turn that around and do the opposite of that, to do what is best, what is right for my family, to pull them back together. It steps me out of thinking about just myself and just to think about others. In recovery, there is hope. It's a lot of hard work, but there is hope. I found hope in my relationship with God. I felt so blessed to have something that was greater than anything I'd ever had. I'm 20 plus years clean, and recovery is worth every bit of time and effort you put into it. You can do this. God is available for you. He is there for you. We all need safe people and safe places to heal. And I feel like Rise Recovery will be that place for you. We will love you, and we want to be a home for you and care for you and love you. I hope that you choose Rise Recovery to be your home.